Silence. Hear me now. If I Aero Barrow could talk today, I got something to say. Why? Raise your flag, but open your eyes. If I Aero Barrow had to speak today, what I see would break my heart away. Nothing changed, just a mirror frame, same corruption, just a brand new name. My people, I'm sad to say, you reaping all you sow today. The pride and industry fade away, and now we fighting to find we way. Life at two extremes, I tell you so. Hope and hunger, high and low. Poverty mixing with champagne flow, but poor man still can't grow. Suffering and celebrating, starving while them still partaking. Nations rise, time to break that spell. Stop showing contempt for yourself. Say you can't change when thieves lead the way. Corruption sweet when give us pay, and government take what poor man lay. Taxation high like mountain peak, while schools and roads still spring a leak. Them flying high, them living sleek, but poor man vice still 2 weeks. So tell me now, who you blaming? Who make the system shaming? Them raise the dead, destroy the cane. No migration needs the pain. You build leaders like the clay, and now me are playing God today. Talking sweet but turn away from the people who make she laugh, she bend and smile she wear like she care, but she can't share. You think she love, you think she fair, or she trying to run you from here? Errol watching from up above. Barbadians where the unity and love we used to build, we used to fight. Now we just beg and say alright. Let we rise again, take back pride, build Barbados from inside. And Errol gone back to sleep again. Errol, but I pray next time I wake, my people go rise, rise, I say. Them sharks still alive. Boy, you sell it. Boy, you sell it. Them sharks still alive. We just need to revive. Them sharks still alive. We just need to revive.
Good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday edition of DLP TV. Our topic tonight, simple topic. What are the people saying? What are the people saying about this government? What are the people saying about what is happening in Barbados? We canvass quite often, several of our candidates. I do. I was in St. John this evening. I don't mind saying that. And across Barbados, there's discontent, there's dissatisfaction with the government's performance. They say that a lot is happening in the economy, and the people who are at the bottom end of the social ladder are all telling us the same thing. Even the people in the middle of society's ladder are telling us that things are not going well in Barbados. But that is only a summary of the topic. What are the people saying? We have here assembled this evening 3 distinguished gentlemen, all interacting with the Barbadian public. Let me start at the far end, at my far end. That's David Sandyford. Walrond. Why do I always call you Sandyford? David Walrond.
Sandyford, baby. Yeah, you look like him.
Okay. We have David Warren, who is St. George North, and David has a lot to tell us tonight. What are the people in St. George North saying? Welcome, David.
Yes, good night, everybody. Glad to be on DLP TV. I hope that I can make an impact. And yes, I have a lot to say. The people in St. George North are very concerned about what's happening to them. Should I start the ball rolling?
No, not yet. I have to introduce the others. Well, next, David, is Jason Phillips. I never have a problem with your surname, Jason. witnesses here tonight, so we're going to be asking them what the people are saying. The first topic that comes to me, the election date. And it has struck me. Now, the government was elected in 2018, and some 3.5 years later, in the middle of COVID, an election was called. I always saw that as a breach of good faith. I mean, you call it early, and then you call it in the middle of COVID, which is wrong, morally and politically wrong. And then you come back in government in 2022, and you're given 5 years again. And since last year, people have been asking, when is the election coming? When is the election coming? So that it seems as if in Barbados, under this government, there's always this anxiety about an election. The government seems to be working towards an election date. But I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. I'm going to come to you, Jason. This constant talk about an election date, what do you make of this? How do you explain this?
Well, first and foremost, we know that the election is constitutionally due in January 2027.
Correct.
Right? And to put out murmurs among the public that on air, whether it's the radio or the television, you hear about the Electoral and Boundaries Commission putting out these ads, get yourself ready, make sure you're registered. But beyond that,
yes,
you're seeing the government positioning itself as though it's ready for election.
Right.
And one must ask themselves, why is the government doing this? Are they interested?
You tell us, why do you think? The people are why is there this? Settle, do they?
No, it's a game. It's a game. It's like the government has the power to decide when there's going to be an election, and there's always seem as if they want to catch the opposition wrong-footed.
Yes.
And in the interim, the people,
I like that point,
who are really supposed to be the beneficiaries,
yes,
of an election,
or of a 5-year term.
You understand, and it gives the people an opportunity to make a decision on who they want to govern them.
Yes, yes.
And when you're doing that, you're not just doing it to the opposition. When you're using this election as a political football.
Mhm.
It is not just opposition that you're kicking around.
Yes.
It's the people.
Who become the victims?
They become the people becomes the victim.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think it's a nasty
Mhm.
way to treat the people you're supposed to care
Yes.
for, the people who you vow to
Yes.
take care of,
Yes.
and at the same time you got them guessing whether or not there's going to be an election and thing. I think, but we need to do something about it. The Democratic Labour Party needs to do something about election dates.
Damien, how does this then affect people? I like the points made by our two comrades that the people become the victims. This becomes something of a game between the parties, like a chess game or a drafts game, and the people become the victims. How does this affect people mentally and psychologically?
Well, it leads to a lot of voter apathy.
Voter apathy.
Yeah,
They
because
stop taking it seriously.
they stop taking it seriously because something I've noticed about this government is that they seem to panic when they get criticized. When it came to the COVID pandemic, there was a lot of criticism of their handling, and then that coincided with them snapping on elections immediately.
Yes.
So now, fast forward now to the year of our Lord 2025, the government's performance is being attacked. And now all of a sudden now we're hearing that they're just dropping, as Jason said, the murmurs about an election pending. So I think that this government, as Jason said, they have no stamina. And it affects the people in the way because you're basically violating their constitutional rights as well.
Yes.
Because you're not giving them the full 5-year mandate for you to perform your own duties. And that's probably why this government is failing as well, because they're cutting themselves off at the legs.
Yes.
All they care about is winning an election, rather than just do the constitutional work mandated in the 5 years.
Yes.
And just let the people decide and judge you on your performance. They just care about, you know what? We're hearing the murmurs of people getting dissatisfied with us, call an election. And that's why you will probably see that the voter turnout is actually declining. We saw that in the by-election because people are already turned off. So it affects the people psychologically, saying that, well, we have the power to basically vote, but then still you're manipulating it in such a way that even if we vote, you still get the favorable outcome of winning the government.
Yes, yes. We are joined by Dr. Dawn Maria Armstrong, our candidate for St. Michael North. Dawn, you've been canvassing in St. Michael North. What are the people saying? You're hearing the constituents talk about an election date or the possibility of an election. Are they saying to you, look, you better prepare for next year or you better prepare for late this year? You're hearing that kind of thing. And if you are, why do you think the people are responding this way?
To be perfectly honest, I think the people are more interested in seeing their present representative than they are in getting ready for next election. I do feel as if
See in the back of him.
yeah, so I think when we speak about elections and election time, I do feel that most of the constituents feel that they're owed representation, and I think all of us feel that way in the sense that, yeah, when elections now become, a political bragging right, if one would even say that, or to be touted as the best politician or the best or consummate politician, and politics becomes just about politicians and not about the people that elect politicians. I think we are down a slippery slope with respect to the actual development of the country.
Yes.
So what are we electing persons to office for? I think that's the main question. And I would say, and some people would say that I'm being biased, when you look back at the track records of the political parties, the Democratic Labour Party has always been the more progressive party. And I feel as if the Barbados Labour Party knows that. So the minute that they feel as if we are getting our heels dug in, or we're gaining some traction, then you hear everyone being spooked. I don't know if the Prime Minister is afraid to go to the full term, to allow, both candidates on each side to have the opportunity to work, because whether or not we're in office, we, the candidates of the Democratic Labour Party, are working. And even more so because we're doing it, out of our own resources and out of our own will and out of the support that we get from others. It is not as if we have the public purse to depend on,
Right.
or we have constituency allowances, to help people or to even serve people in that capacity. So I feel like being an opposition candidate at this point in time, we are expected to act as if we are members of parliament, because we are doing the things that the current members of parliament are supposed to be doing, but still not knowing when exactly we'll have the opportunity to serve. So I feel as if the Barbados Labour Party owes the public of Barbados representation. I feel as if, that the voter apathy may be their only strategy. And I say that if your only strategy is to stop people from voting or to keep people from voting, are you really the consummate politician that people brag about? I would say that, to me, people and leaders shouldn't base their leadership on fear, whether it be people's fear of them or their fear of losing.
Yes.
And I think that everyone knows that the country is a two-party state, and if it's not Barbados Labour Party, it will be Democratic Labour Party. And I think the Barbados Labour Party is delaying that at this point in time.
Let us then sensitize Barbadians, lady and gentlemen, as to something that is happening in our country. I was told this week that, I don't want to describe people as immigrants, but a migrant, somebody who's here doing migrant labor, and he's been here for 8 months. And I'm not here to alarm anybody. We are not here to alarm Barbadians. But I was told that he said, look, I have been here for 8 months and I intend to vote. Y'all coming across that?
I came across
the possibility, you see, can we trust the government? Don, as you said, the government is desperate, they're showing fear, and they're afraid of losing. So that here it is, you have, and we need to sensitize Barbadians as this, that while you mentioned apathy, so that while some Barbadians will exercise the right to say, look, I can't be bothered. Here it is, you have people coming into the country, and I'm not trying to alarm anybody, and saying, I intend to vote. That this government brought me here. I'm happy to be here, and I intend to vote after 8 months without qualification. So Barbadians now have to be very vigilant and keep their eyes on that thing called the electoral list. I don't know, anybody's been, is this something we should be careful about? The swelling of the electoral list to include persons who are not eligible. Let's say it in plain language.
I was told something of the sort.
You were told something of the sort.
By an immigrant. They came over on the CARICOM certificate. It wasn't
this
the
is
free
the Skill
movement.
National Business.
This was the one before the free movement.
Right. CSN, CARICOM, Skill National.
So essentially that's what they articulated. So they've never voted.
And they want to vote.
No, they've never voted. They never expressed the interest in voting because, again, I guess they suppose they're not Barbadian per se.
But they're not eligible.
They are.
They
indeed.
are eligible?
Yes. They came over before. Well, based on my understanding, I thought that they were. No, you'd be educating me. But nonetheless, they stated the same thing, that one would be inclined to vote for the government that allowed them to come to a country to start a new life, So I think it should be concerning for anybody, the influx. And, Ralph, it is fair for you to say immigrant, because I was an immigrant in someone's country, and people let you know you're an immigrant, you're not born here, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm a pro-Bajan either way.
Yeah, but we're committed to
but the politically correct term is immigrant. So if people are coming to the country, you have to be able to differentiate, who was born in Barbados and who was naturalized and who is in the process of being naturalized, for the purposes of understanding their rights and our rights as, as Barbadian born citizens. So there is a very real issue that we have on our hands. And I think you mentioned person's ability to vote, but what about the persons now that are coming in unable to vote, the migrant labor, who aren't contributing to the economic development in the country? What would that say to our voters and our laborers who probably don't have the opportunity to earn a livelihood with their vote. So it's a totally different demographic that we're targeting. And when people aren't working and they don't see politics as being beneficial to them, and you hear it all the time, this is what I hear that's most concerning. I ain't getting a job, so I'm voting for nobody. Who can give me a job? Who can give my child a job? Who can give my son a job? My daughter a job? And when you look at people's voting power, it is tied now directly back to what politicians can do for them. And it makes politics and voting very transactional, and it makes politics and the process of voting, it makes it seem as if it's being sold to the highest bidder, or the person who can afford to provide these jobs and this money and everything to persons, and it's just a far cry from where it used to be.
David used the term nasty, and I picked up on that, and I remember the BUI election in St. James North. That's what we call it here, the BUI election. And the cynical device of giving people $300 a few days before the election. I want us, I focused on that because you used the word transactional. You're getting a sense that this government has made voting a transactional exercise, that a lot of some of our people expect a gift in exchange for a vote. You're feeling this, you're hearing it.
Yeah.
In fact, even if you go back to the legislation that allow, I'm all for regional integration.
Yes.
But when we go back to the piece of legislation that says, if you're from Dominica, St. Vincent, or Belize, you can come here and live, and after 6 months, they kind of want to fast track you into citizenship. Now, if you are a citizen, then you have the right to vote. And to me, it seems as though they want to pad the voters list. And if political scientists said that the government that gave you the opportunity, you will be more inclined to support that government. So it seems as though the Barbados Labour Party-led government is trying to curry favor with all and sundry in the hope to hold on to political power. Right?
I wanted to come to Damien then, and I'm going back to Don's use of the word transaction. Regathering. Everybody saw regathering as an election exercise. You spend money, you go across Barbados, every parish, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on an event. And Barbadians are so on to the government that they said, well, if you're doing regathering this year, for the entire year, there must be an election following. And that's how this government is regarded, as a transactional government. Your comment, please.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It seems like this government has taken our whole political process, our voting process, all the whole there that's constitutionally granted to us, and cheapened it, made it a transactional process where that we are going to basically pad our vote at capital. Do these, how should I say? I guess I'm going to rely on David's words, nasty, because that's the only way that you can describe it. When you, 3 days before the election, grant $300 to every Barbadian citizen that you can. And then now you are probably, and remember that the DLP, they are an election machine.
Yes.
And I believe that they have the means and the infrastructure to do their own data polling and so on and so on. I believe that they're seeing something in their polling that is scaring them.
I see.
That's why that they're taking the actions that they are. And they're realizing that, hey, usually a government doesn't win 3 terms.
Right.
And the way that things are looking right now, we're not going to win 3 terms. And all they care about is winning elections. So they throw the lights and the parties and the walk-ups and the facts and all of that, and to keep the people, say, oh, this is a good time government. This is a good time feeling government. But behind that, they don't have any policies or anything that, really helps the people. So they know that the people are catching on to what they did. And this 7 years of tribulation, the people are telling themselves, well, this government doesn't really have anything to offer, so really and truly, maybe we should look at other options. And I believe that they have the data that's showing that. So then they go and they introduce this new legislation, the free movement, because they know they don't have the voter capital to win a third election. So then they now have to try and curry favors with people not only in our island but outside, so that basically they can keep doing what they're doing, and that is all basically just winning elections. That's all they are.
David, you know I'm coming to you.
I use the term nasty because I'm a constituent too. I'm a person.
You're St. George North constituent.
I'm a St. George North
So
constituent.
you'll be representing yourself when you become MP.
Most definitely. And I say nasty because I want Bajans to understand what's happening. See, if we sit back and we allow the persons we put in charge of running this country, or governing this country, or managing this country,
Ruling.
or ruling this country, and they don't like ruling at all.
But they're ruling.
But
They're supposed to govern. Being
But
a
if
government,
if
but
we
they're
as a
ruling.
people, we sit back and allow persons to do these things, pad the voters list and this kind of thing. I'm not saying that they did pad it. I'm saying it looking so to me.
It's looking that way to
It's
you.
looking that way to me. So what I'm saying is that
And this is not to reflect on the EBC,
no,
We're talking
definitely not.
the government.
Right. And the policies
Yes.
that
Yes.
are
That would
about
allow padding to take
that would
place.
encourage it.
Yes.
So what I'm saying to Barbadians, look, I'm not xenophobic, and I'll never encourage xenophobia. But who should have the greatest interest in Barbados?
You tell us.
Americans,
I know it's rhetorical, but you tell us.
Germans, Russians. I think Bajans should have the greatest interest in Barbados. But if Barbadians continue to sit back and allow these things to happen, we will become tenants in our own land. We have to be careful of that, because you can't just be doing exactly what Jason spoke about, encouraging persons to come into the country and influence our electoral process like that. Who says that they're going to influence the process in our interests and the real interests of Barbados continuing to be a country that we love to live in?
It's in the government's interest, isn't it?
It's in the government's
in their
interest.
interest.
But
Survival.
what is happening right now in Barbados clearly states to me that the government either don't care or is incapable of keeping Barbados as a treasured homeland for me. When you look at the fact that we are paying, after we got rid of a government for a tax called NSRL, we are now paying 40 more taxes. And we are not saying anything about it. But it's real, and it's impacting the lives of Barbadians. I signed up to today, I signed a document for a pensioner to try to get that garbage switch tax off our water bill.
All right, let's come to the evidence, and I'm glad you introduced it, David. And we are still on the topic, what are the people saying? And people see it on social media. They're calling it the walk back government. And there's another one, but the evidence against them is really strong, that they cannot start anything and finish it. And before we came on, we compiled a list here of the things that the government walked back on: cybercrime, tint, the tourist accommodation bill, the interception of communications bill, and now the latest one, Damien, you had told us, the reversion back to Independence Day. They're dropping Republic Day and they're going back to that. And they make the excuse, look, we consult, but that's not how a government functions. You consult first. You don't come to Parliament with legislation, fail in the Parliament because of public protests and protests from the opposition in both houses, and they say, okay, fine, we're consulting. And some of their sycophants will applaud and try to spin that into an argument favoring the government. But the people are calling it a walk back government, lady and gentlemen. And is this why the government is so nervous?
It speaks to the attitude of the government.
Yes.
A government that cares about people, listens to people,
Mhm.
and not act in its own interest.
Yes.
Whenever you see a government having to walk back a piece of legislation,
Mhm.
it says to the public, I wanted this for my own interest.
Mhm.
But because you retaliated, I will ease back.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, remember, they're only interested in winning an election.
An election. Yes.
Right? And it says to me that this government is not thinking about the masses, about the Barbadian people.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're thinking about themselves
Mhm.
and how to hold on to power.
Yes.
And all of that legislation that was walked back
Yes.
is telling me that it is a selfish government.
I want to come to tin. And I saw an article over the weekend in which somebody who does the inspections with tin.
Mhm.
Now, with so much hardship in Barbados, gentlemen and lady, tint is supposed to be introduced when? December. When is it? December 1st? January 1st?
January.
January 1st.
Yeah.
At a time when people are so heavily indebted after Christmas. And if you don't pay somebody to strip the dark tint off your car, you can end up paying $500. Now, a lot of people in Barbados don't work for $500 a week. A whole lot of people don't. And this government is about to carry through the threat of tint legislation. Why? Why?
It's cheap.
What are the people saying, Damien?
Well, the Prime Minister was very honest in her, her motivations behind.
She wanted money.
She wanted money. And when you look at,
To travel?
well, I had thought the per diem was very generous. So I guess if you want more,
Yeah.
but she was very, very candid up front,
Mhm.
and she said, you know what, I
I want
want money.
Mhm.
You understand? I'm going to help you to make more money.
Yeah.
To put policies in place to help the Barbadian people to address the cost of living that's killing them, or to help them to build a business and invest in entrepreneurship, or to own a piece of the rock. I want money from my government, from my cabinet, from my ministers, from myself. That is what. So she totally, just forgot about the Barbadian people and was only thinking about herself. And some of the legislation that we look at there were some very, very oppressive fines. The accommodation bill had a fine of $250,000.
Oh yes,
All
oh
right,
yes.
let's stay with 10. Let's stay with 10.
Right. So
I want to ask David. Sorry, I want to ask David. I want to ask you to speak on behalf of St. George North in relation to tint. Should St. George North sit down and accept tint legislation when the rest of Barbados is against it?
Comrade leader, who does the government work for?
The people.
Who votes a government in? You see, this government is a very oppressive government.
Yes.
And all these new legislations that would have been bandied about, some walk back, whatever,
Mhm.
they are all oppressive.
Let's stay with tint.
And the
How
thing,
do you feel about tint? How are you representing your St. George North people in relation to tint? You're going to sit back and allow it to come without any protest, or are you going to continue the protest?
of course, I'm going to continue the protest because people are finding it difficult to pay bills. So you honestly think that a person can just cough up $500 just so?
Please.
It's not that easy anymore. We are
Cough 500 if they keep the tint.
if they keep the
But
thing,
if they decide to be compliant and remove it,
they might cost them another 500.
well, there we are.
So basically, it's going to cost
Mhm.
people no matter what. And the reality is that, in my mind,
Mhm.
we are making things into an issue
Mhm.
that it does not have to be an issue, because we've had a lot of crime recently,
Mhm. Mhm.
and at the hours of the night that these crimes occur and where they occur and how they occur,
Mhm.
I don't think Tint had anything to do with them.
With it, yeah.
So in truth and in fact, Tint is another football.
Another football.
And as I say, it is just another one of these policies that is there to oppress
To oppress.
the people.
Don, what are you going to tell St. Michael North about this tent? Should the protest continue or should we accept it and press on?
I think that the protest should most definitely continue. But you see, as we discussed we're speaking about an entire demographic who has access to a vehicle. What about those that don't drive? There are other.
No, let's focus on the people. A lot of people have cars. It used to be a luxury in Barbados, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
What do you tell them? Do you tell them sit back and accept it,
Yeah.
or do we try to force the government to postpone it further? That's the point I'm making. I'm not preaching civil disobedience here. I am asking if we, as responsible representatives, should be petitioning the government to postpone this thing, to say, look, the country simply cannot take it
Yeah.
at this point. The inconvenience of pausing on your way to work to take the car to the technician if your tint is dark. It's an inconvenience. One way or the next, you're going to be spending money if your tint is dark. And even if you think your tint isn't dark and you're in doubt, you still have to go to the inspector and ask him or her, is my tint too dark? So it is very, very disruptive.
Yeah.
Protest continues, or do we sit back and say, okay, you have an oppressive government, we have to live with them?
Yeah, the protest should most definitely continue.
In what form, Jason?
Well, even before we get onto the forum, the sun
Using this medium here, how you do a lot of social media.
Yeah, but
How is your protest going to continue? How are you going to do it?
I'm going to get to that shortly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But I can be honest with you, because the question you asked is a beautiful question.
Oh, thank you.
No. We have to be practical.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think they cared because they just wanted to have that shade
Mm-hmm.
or a black window.
Why do they?
He said it's hot. Hot as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And this government seems not to care. But I have a young boy going to school, right? And I find having a vehicle with tint helpful.
Why? Let's get practical.
Because the sun is hot, and when he's sitting on one side of the car, and the sun is bearing down, right? And he's already see that, right? You either gotta stop and transfer it to the other side of the car, right? Or thank God you have a little tint and you roll up the window.
That's so ironic, because the person who said they wanted money in relation to tint is supposed to be championing climate change.
Of course.
And here you are telling me your son, I take it you mean your son,
Yeah, of course.
is taking advantage of tint because of the oppressive additional heat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, to answer you a bit of the question now, Barbadians must let the government know that this is an unpopular piece of legislation by writing the members of parliament in the first instance,
Writing the member of parliament. Excellent.
protesting
Yes.
either on social media or partly well, I shouldn't say that.
People write it. Look,
I just-
it's a social media, IG and Facebook.
Yeah, let me stick to social media.
Yeah.
But it might come a time that we might have to do a little bit more.
Like.
We can drive a little slower on the road.
Mm.
Drive a little
That's
slower.
interesting. That's interesting.
You know, I wouldn't say stop and block the road. Don't do that.
No.
Please don't do that.
Get
We can
shot.
drive a little slower on the road.
Mhm.
You know?
How do we continue these protests, Damien?
Or we need to mobilize our people, tell the people that we've seen it before. We've seen the people come together for something that they tested and that they wanted to just not be implemented. You need to come out and get feet to the ground, boots to marching. I believe that is probably the strongest way of protesting. But in the same sense, for me, the best way that you can protest is with your vote.
With your vote.
Your vote will
Excellent.
Yes.
your vote will
Yes,
send the
yes.
message.
So whatever they do, when the time comes, you vote against.
Yes, because you can go on social media and you can do all the
Yes.
protesting. You can
Yeah,
write your yes, all that is
yeah.
well and done.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if this government continues to go down this path of where they're insisting on charging $500 to your tent and then $10 a day if you if you continue to keep it on, because obviously, as you said, it's on hot, right? And you might want to do your own way of civil disobedience. It's
Mhm.
about charge me and keep paying it or whatever. But at the end of the day, the strongest way of protest is your vote.
Vote them out.
Vote them out and vote for a DLP government
Yes.
Oh yes.
that will basically just rescind the entire legislation because it makes no sense. The backdrop why it was implemented or trying to implement in the first place makes no sense.
Which camera is for you, Damien? Look in the camera and tell the people that the DLP will.
The DLP will throw that legislation in the trash.
Right.
Vote us in. That is your strongest way of protest.
Yes.
Your vote.
Yes. Let us move from tint. Then let's move quickly tonight because we are talking about what the people are saying. The people were talking about this tourism accommodation bill.
Mhm.
And let's be frank, the tourism or tourist accommodation bill was an attack on small people who had premises and developed them into Airbnb. That's what it is called.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for some reason, out of the blue, the Americans say out of left field, this government comes and attacks them and places heavy burdens on them, heavy taxation in some instances. A few weeks, David, after they gave additional concessions to villa people, and we know who the villa people, we're not hiding anything in here tonight.
No, of course.
So that this is a government that has demonstrated that it is always inclined to attack small people, tax them into oblivion while protecting those who already have. Let's deal with the tourism accommodation bill. David, is that another reason to vote this government out when the time comes?
Boy, this is a reason really to vote with this government because it is clear that tourism accommodation bill,
Yes.
that they're targeting those Airbnb people
Mm-hmm.
and they're protecting somebody.
Yes.
So-
Yes. So it's dual purpose.
It's dual purpose.
Attack and protect.
Attack and protect.
So why you hiding the protection point? Who they protecting?
Well, I don't know. The villas came up in the conversation
Yes.
and probably hotels.
Uh-huh.
So the reality is that the average Joe, the middle class man,
Mhm.
who would get a little property somewhere close to the coast. And
Not,
he said,
only middle, I've seen them in Bayland. I told people that. I
Well, that's
saw
interesting.
Airbnb. Yes, I
but that
saw
is
one up
interesting
there.
because I think when we look to see what this government is doing,
Mhm.
let us not, as the old people say, don't let me mumble about it. Because the reality is here, is that this government clearly does not care about the working class,
Mhm. Mhm.
nor the middle class in this
Mhm.
country.
Mhm.
And the things they're doing to us
Mhm.
is sending a signal to me
Mhm.
that they don't care about me
Yes.
because I fall in one of those two categories.
Mhm.
So the average Bajan ain't to have anything. So it's this protectionism that is going on.
Yes.
And look at the fines. $250,000.
Yeah.
Who's going to cost $250,000?
That's
Some people can't even get the repairs done to their properties,
Correct.
and it's not costing them $250,000.
There we are.
So the reality is that we're going back to the oppressive nature of this government.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is a very oppressive government.
Yes.
And it has to come to an end. The people of Barbados has to bring this to an end. Because look, people who say that they don't want to vote, look and see what's happening to you. If
Precisely.
it's happening to the Airbnb today,
Mhm.
who will it be tomorrow?
There we are.
And who will it be the next day? The fact is that a lot of things that are being done, a lot of these new legislations that are being brought,
Mhm.
they are oppressive, but they are oppressive to a certain class of persons.
All consistent.
Are consistently oppressive to a certain class of people.
Yeah.
So and these are the voting people,
Yes.
These are the people who are going to vote. But here
Let us hope so.
is the real problem. Here's the real switch up here now, right? If these people decide to vote, and we can bring in as many people from outside, and we can pad that voters list,
Mhm. Mhm.
we can negate those votes,
Precisely.
and we can continue to push them down in a corner, push them in a hole, keep our feet in their necks.
Yes.
And because that's what's happening in Barbados.
Well, I'm glad you went back to that point about and let us make the point again. We are not attacking the EBC, the Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
No.
We are saying the government is using some influence And I say this because today I was trying to find the video in which two government ministers were referring to electoral reforms and electoral practices, and they were saying we. And they seem not to understand that the Electoral and Boundaries Commission is an independent constitutional body, which is independent of the government, and the government has no business in the day-to-day operations of EBC. And I was so appalled by that, but it shows that this is a government that's willing to break all laws to get what it wants. Dawn, do you have Airbnb in your constituency?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I believe it would be more in the Claremont, Clearview area. I haven't met any in well, at least not well canvassing in Lodge Hill or Lodge Terrace. Perhaps there are. I don't think most persons who have Airbnbs advertise locally, to be fair. You'd have to go on the app to know that a person has a tenant, and rightfully so. I don't think it would be wise to put up a sign that you are running a bed and breakfast.
Them to advertise and to register, and almost like a small hotel to have a lobby and put up signs. And so
I feel that's
and David is using the word oppressive, and that is how it is oppressive. You're asking a person who has a little Airbnb to turn it into a little boutique hotel with signs and a reception desk, and if you don't do this, you can be fined
$100,000.
$100,000, and the people in Barbados need to understand that this is what the government is doing.
Yeah,
to the ordinary fellow who just spends a few $1,000s to develop his property, he lives in one part, rents out the other part, and he is subject to all these regulations, oppressive regulations.
It's actually not something that I would dance. I wouldn't want the enforcement officers to run up in St. Michael North for any. Exactly. So I am just alleging that perhaps where persons have, larger houses and have the capacity to rent a room or to add on an apartment, that perhaps that's what they may be doing. But I feel as if the glory of Airbnb was always to give persons that fiscal space to earn money, even if they're earning money on their own platform. What they have done is creating an element of financial freedom and another avenue for persons to, I guess, be enterprising in the way that they go about doing it. And what I think I value the most about Airbnb is that some of the Airbnbs that I have stayed in, or really only stay in one, to be fair, is that you never knew that people could be so creative in their own space.
Yes.
To the point where when I booked it while I was overseas, I was like, where is this? This is very foreign. And when I had the opportunity to stay, the way that the person went about the renovation, and it was done by the owner themselves, I really just thought that they were on to something big. I was kind of proud to see, people actually utilizing spaces and trailers and containers.
You were impressed?
Yeah, of course.
Creativity.
I'm very, very impressed by persons' capacity to earn money in such a way, and for Airbnb to even provide that opportunity to persons. Because based on what I've heard is that in certain countries it's so heavily regulated that your country has to be to a certain standing in terms of crime levels and violence, and to be able to have people feel safe, I guess, traveling to your country. So I just thought it was very innovative.
Well, you use the term financial freedom, Jason, and I want to come to Uber. I want to come to a situation in Barbados in which the government is pretending that Uber came in here secretly late one night, 2 o'clock in the morning. They knew nothing about it, and it is a threat to the taxi industry. It is a threat to a man or a woman who started the taxi service as a self-employed independent person and who had what Dawn calls financial freedom and the dignity of self-employment. And along comes Uber, and this government is pretending that, we didn't know, and if we know, let us set some regulations. We won't let them near the port. And then, look, David used the word nasty. And the cynical action of inviting the taxi fraternity to the Barbados Labour Party conference to discuss Uber at the Barbados Labour Party conference. We all know why that was done, to swell the numbers at the conference.
I was about to say,
And the
like,
Friday before it happened, we issued a press release telling them, don't go. I'm not going to call the name of the person or persons who had been asked to manage this process of inviting taxi drivers up to Queen's Park when other businessmen are normally invited either to the Parliament buildings or to the government buildings on Bay Street. But that is what is going on in Barbados. Let's discuss Uber, and let us discuss the threat that Uber is to our self-employed hundreds of Barbadians who have invested in taxis. Where are we with Uber?
My fundamental issue with Uber
Yes.
is the percentage of the fee.
That the taxi driver.
Yeah, I was in a taxi only last night.
Mhm.
I don't know how true it is, but he told me
Mhm.
that Uber is asking for 30%.
30%.
Now here it is. This guy has to pay government to have a taxi permit.
All right. Let's go slowly, Jason.
Okay.
He makes $100 ordinarily
Yes.
on his own.
Yes.
If he is associated with Uber, where is that $100 going?
30 goes to Uber, 70 goes to him.
Really?
Yes. And for me, remember, Uber don't own any taxis, you know.
Indeed not.
Right.
That's interesting. They don't.
They don't own these taxis.
They own the industry.
They own the
So they
industry.
have come in and owned an industry.
It's like
They don't
a,
haven't invested a cent in a car. That's what you're telling us.
it's like a bully come in somewhere and say, look, for you to operate here, you gotta give me 30% when you make.
I'm going to come and ask Damien next if he believes that the government did not know Uber was coming here. But you pass on, Jason.
But what's hurtful about it, and I'm speaking on behalf of the taxi owners in Barbados.
Please do.
When you look at a man that have to pay the government for a permit,
Yes.
he has to pay the car, the person that he bought the car from.
Uber pays any of this?
No,
Good.
right? He has to pay for gasoline. He has to replace his tires probably once a year.
Yes.
He has to feed himself. All Uber does is provide a platform for him to find people, which he was already doing.
Precisely. Because some of these chappies have their clients. There's some taxi men who work for, let's say, 3 or 4 people. And that's it. And that's how they make a living.
So imagine now,
Uber comes in and takes over this.
we getting 30% of maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people. You are over and away, and you just provide a platform,
Yes.
and you take a piece of everybody.
And by platform, something in cyberspace.
Yes, to whose benefit? Not the taxi operator.
They don't have maintenance of the vehicle,
No.
according to what you're telling us. They don't have the licensing fees.
No.
They have a platform.
When the taxi guy was talking to me, I could hear the hurt.
Yes.
A caring government.
So he's against it.
Yeah, he's totally against it.
So he hasn't joined.
No.
But some have joined. Presumably because they want a guaranteed access to work.
Right. There are pros and cons.
Yes.
Right. For example, a part-time taxi guy would more prefer that
Precisely.
because he's not interested in out there driving around looking for work.
Right.
But a guy who is dedicated,
Right.
who has a clientele of X amount of people and so on and so forth, right? He might not want to become too interested in this
Right.
Uber thing. And now he has to compete
Yes. He's
with
talking-
someone
Yeah. Yeah.
who has Uber. So now you can see some of his clients might even gravitate to Uber. So
Right.
it might benefit the masses, but it will hurt. Yes, but it will hurt the taxi industry. And then if a guy wants to remain in that industry, he might reluctantly be forced to comply.
Damien, I promise to come to you.
Mhm.
You
I don't know if
really
it-
think the government, these people snuck upon Barbados and without the government knowing?
They think this government, right, really need to sit down and think of the excuses before they bring it to the Barbadian people. Because for you to come and say that you don't know a company come and register in your own country, because you got to register now with Business Barbados to operate here. You understand? You have to set up the infrastructure with CLIPO or what is now better Business Barbados to operate here legally. So you have to go through the government. It makes to come and say now that you yourself did not know, or oh, this just snuck under the radar or whatever. It makes you look highly incompetent. That you do not know what is going on in your own country.
Yes.
In fact, the Prime Minister said that herself. Sometimes when she listens to the calling program, she doesn't know what country she's in. I think that is proof to that. Basically, so for you
She
to
probably listens when she's overseas. Because you can't
By the internet.
So for you to come and then want to tell, like, treat the Barbadian people like if they're born yesterday or
Yes.
born behind the coat, that
yeah.
you don't know what's going on in your country when a multi-billion-dollar industry is not operating in your country, and you're like, because you got a little criticism or a little pushback, oh, we didn't know this was happening. That screams incompetence.
In this.
No.
Indeed. And there's a simple solution to this, and I think we're overcomplicating it as it is. Because if the issue is Uber coming to Barbados, and I knew when it came to London, it was a fuss, because London is famous for the black cab taxis. And obviously the black cab taxis weren't happy that Uber was coming, and there was a fuss. But you know what the black cabs did and what the government did? They created their own ride sharing app for the black taxis as well. Yeah, so if the government wants to get serious about representing our taximen and Uber, monopolizing the ride sharing industry, the government just has to develop their own platform for registered taxis in Barbados. We cannot overlook the fact that Uber has globalized transport. We can't overlook the fact that they have developed a business model that is adaptable to almost every center of the world. But what we can do as governments and as people seeking to represent people is to create our own ride sharing app, lower the rates, the percentage that is taken out of the pockets of Barbadians, and regularize the service. So taxi men now have the opportunity to join the government's ride sharing app or to join Uber. And if it's more profitable to join the government's ride sharing app, then that's what we do. That's how we protect our own interests. So I don't know if this is the idea that they will run with, but I know that Pickup Barbados was here before Uber. And what I found in trying to use Pickup Barbados is that the app itself, to me, never really functioned. So it wasn't about whether Pickup Barbados was useful. It was about the functionality of the app. And I often thought, oh, hey, this is good, but where is this going? So the government just needs to go back, to their consultants, their overpaid consultants, because I just can't see how they could not counteract this within the first few days to weeks. It is so simple. You have the registry of taxis, you issue the permit, so I would hope you know all the taxi men in the country. What you do is develop an app. You've already got their access, have their. You could create the app and then ask them to opt out if they're not interested. But you have the capacity, because you're the government that issues the permits. You have the capacity to regularize the taxi service. On the flip side, what we must be also mindful of is that, there are a lot of taxis on the road that do not operate. So I myself can say I've been waiting to flag taxis, and taxi. A lot of taxi people don't presently operate as taxi drivers. Where is it?
The concession.
I don't know. What I am saying.
Duty free car. All right, let's leave.
Yeah. So as a person who has tried to hail taxis before, and who I thought, okay, well, it would be easy to stand up beside the road and flag a taxi. You flag taxis. I was like, I'm not working. So there's some people who would be comfortable to go on an app to see what taxis are actually working and to be able to hail a taxi. So, good idea. And Uber knows that they have a good business model and a good idea, and they know people will buy into it. And because of the way the country is right now, with the high cost of living, taxi people seeking to earn $1. And the guy from the port, he came on to say that people left the port to book an Uber outside, and they've got their registered taxis in the port, and people are still going to Uber. Just bring government just needs to bring their own ride sharing app, and put money into the
port. They're struggling.
So
and government could have maintained its control.
Most
they're
definitely.
Controlling everything else.
So
they're trying to control Airbnb, but can't control Uber.
So I really hope that they hear this, because This is another thing on DLP TV that we are suggesting that can be actioned almost immediately. You have the registered taxi drivers in the country. Create the app, build it. I know it could be built in as simple as 24, 48 hours if the consultants are as genius as the Prime Minister and the offices of the government claim them to be, and start it from there.
I share positive news. Jason, they caught a Mavis Slashley on the board a few minutes ago, telling you congratulations for the excellent work that you're doing in St. Peter.
I said thank you very much.
Mavis Slashley, thanks very much for noticing the work that Jason Phillips is doing there. I'm convinced he's going to win.
Oh, yes.
I have not seen this quality and energy put into a campaign in a long, long time. Jason, congrats.
Thank you very much.
What I want to add to what Don said, and David, I can come to you and Damien on this. And I said it in Parliament. Here it is. Did I say it in Parliament? I think I did. Here it is. A government has legislated an increase in taxi fares, and then allows a company in that reduces the taxi fares. And David, you keep using the word nasty and oppressive. So you legislate an increase in taxi fares, and a few months later, a company is allowed to come in and to destroy that initiative of taxi main.
I have seen nastiness of this government from a personal perspective. I'm going to say I have a sister who owns taxis.
Really?
And her taxis used to carry the pickup banner. And then she had some difficulties, and they had for some reason she was asked to take it off. If she wanted to operate certain places and stuff like that. I ain't got the whole story, so I ain't gonna try to fabricate it. The reality is, right, she had gone through some stress with trying to keep her business viable. It seems to me that certain class of people in this country ain't to have anything. It keeps coming back to the fact that certain class of people in Barbados ain't to have. The government don't seem to do things to favor poor and middle class people, working class people. They don't seem to do anything to favor. It's always the pressure.
I challenge that a handout.
That's right. $300.
$300. So I challenge you.
They always seem to have their foot in the neck of people who are making an effort. And then who are making an effort to.
Yes. That's why I wanted you to repeat that. Who are making an effort.
But then when you keep doing this to people, and then people get frustrated, and they don't seem to want to work, it's because they have been driven into a state of frustration.
Yes.
And when you do that now, then you're going to bring in foreign labor.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And say that Bajans don't want to work.
Yes.
Because I hear Bajans repeating that,
Yes.
People are repeating that Barbadians don't like to work. And it's sickening because it's not true. It is not true. It's that everything is difficult in Barbados for the working class person in Barbados.
And middle.
Even to set up a business in Barbados.
Yes.
It's that things, Barbados is not Barbadian friendly anymore.
That's excellent.
Barbados is not Barbadian friendly. But then Barbadians turn on their own and say we are just lazy. We don't want to work. I hear these comments on a regular basis, and I am disappointed when people are saying things like that, because I know Barbadians. I know too many Bajans who are interested in working and who want to work. And like I said, I have a sister who wants that. See, she's being frustrated, and then eventually people get fed up, and then they just drop the ball, and then they get blamed for being lazy. They get called lazy.
Well, you said Barbadians tend to turn on their own. A few months ago, when this country was trying to locate the solutions to crime and locate the origins of crime, a certain lady in this country said or insinuated that crime begins in the homes of people. I have never seen a gun manufactured in anybody's home. The guns were coming into Barbados from outside. And somehow the Prime Minister managed to convince herself and the people in the Barbados Labour Party that crime had its origins in people's houses, that it was a question of values. Nobody was manufacturing a gun there. The people using the guns are, well, I wouldn't say that. Jason, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about crime, you're talking about cost of living, and so on. I was reading something earlier tonight, and the literature suggests that the top 10% of the wealthy people in Barbados own 30% of the wealth of this country.
The top 10
and
own 30%.
And the bottom 10% own 2% of the wealth of this country. If you call it wealth.
Own 2%. I think the bottom is high, really.
2% is it?
Maybe high, yeah.
So
there's a serious struggle out there, you know, Jason. You've heard the term living from one paycheck to another.
I
Sometimes that paycheck is a welfare check.
You're working poor. Going around my constituency in St. Peter, I'm shocked. You know, sometimes I'm shocked to see the level of poverty in the constituency.
In Barbados.
Yeah.
In Barbados.
Yeah, Barbadians are feeling it. But those persons in this government, the friends and the families of the government, they seem not to know or to care because they are in a position where they are being treated fairly nicely.
Yes.
And that's a bit of money. And I just want to remind Barbadians, whenever that time comes, vote out this Barbados Labour Party-led government.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, they don't care about us. We need a change. And I keep repeating it. The Democratic Labour Party is ready, it is willing, and is able to lead Barbados, this Barbados government. It is ready to help Barbadians. A lot of these foolish laws are being forced on us. We will repeal them. One of such, I'm sure, will be that 8th law.
Oh yeah, we discussed that. Let us come back to what the people are saying. That's our theme tonight. And we have looked at the struggle that the average Barbadian, that thousands of Barbadians are enduring. And the people ask us, not only us, we're not the only persons talking about it.
No.
The people are talking about the Prime Minister's travel and ministerial travel. And that you catch a private jet and the cost of that jet, the travel across Africa, goes up to about $750,000 to go and make a speech at the opening of a dam to tell the people there that won't blow the skill old cow. Yeah, that was the high point of the speech.
Right.
$750,000. I don't know why you're laughing. This is true.
You have to say taxpayers' dollars.
Taxpayers' dollars.
Real money.
Yeah, and that's what the people are concerned about. The Prime Minister's frequent travel under pressure from this Democratic Labour Party. She was forced to disclose that she traveled 90 times within the space. Well, it turned out to be once a month or once every 6 weeks.
Wow.
I think. Sorry, twice every 6 weeks or something like that. So the people are talking about the Prime Minister's frequent travel. Dawn Marie Armstrong.
Yeah.
What have Barbadians gained from the Prime Minister's travel?
I think they've gained a certain element of pride.
Pride.
Yeah, I think some Barbadian citizens, are known by the celebrities that we've produced, and I think some people think it's nice to just have a prime minister who's known by other people.
What has it done to the cost of living?
It hasn't done
Not the
anything.
prime.
This is the thing.
Sure.
So it's not beneficial in that regard. But what I'm saying is that psychologically,
Mhm.
I guess the prime minister is playing into that aspect. You know,
Mhm.
we are a proud people. We love to be known. We're a small country. You know, the prime minister is seeking to be known, and some people are happy that
I'm a
she's known for
celebrity
that
overseas,
reason.
so I should be acceptable.
Yeah, somehow, you know, if we're talking about winning elections and if people, and you know, these are the
So
things
it's an
that
election
people say.
device.
These are the things that people say. You know, she's a popular prime minister. We obviously know popularity doesn't equate to
Well, I was
actually.
asking you what it has done to the cost of living.
Yeah,
What has it done
nothing. We
to
know
the
this,
light bill and the water bill and
but these are the
the
things.
state of the roads.
These are the things that people try to say. And what I am saying is that, you know, for some people, maybe that is enough.
What are your constituents saying, Eden Lodge saying? They love this travel?
No, they don't. They
Well, that's
absolutely
what I was
don't.
asking you.
But when it is put forward, and we have to understand that we are still a small country with some people who value different things, and we bring our solutions to DLP TV, and we bring our solutions to the constituents, and we also have to acknowledge the fact that the majority of people are not voting. So whereas, you know, people think that this popularity matters, our constituents are saying that they want to see us, the Democratic Labour Party, and they want to see what we are bringing to the table, and it is our responsibility to take that to our people.
Let's stay on travel. Let's stay on travel. Let's stay on travel.
Yeah.
Damien, what has the Prime Minister's frequent travel done for this country, and what are Barbadians saying about the Prime Minister's frequent travel?
Somebody said something very poignant to me one day when we actually had a conversation about the Prime Minister's travel. He said that he would like the Prime Minister to stop using the government as her own personal piggy bank to go and travel all over, I guess, to garner celebrity. Because at the end of the day, they just can't eat celebrity.
So it's about celebrity. You think it's
I think it's
celebrity,
about,
and the people think it's about
I
celebrity.
think it's about celebrity, obviously, because she's not here most of the time. She's not here to hear the cries of the Barbadian people when they're saying cost of living is high, crime is high. You know, these botched legislations, there are too many of them. And then at the end of the day, she then acts as if like she doesn't understand why the people are complaining. This travel doesn't really benefit the Barbadian people. Giving speeches overseas doesn't benefit the Barbadian people. If your aim is to make Barbados the Dubai of the Caribbean, it is not working. And we should not want to be the Dubai of the Caribbean. We should want to be our country itself, that 166 square miles. It should be for the Barbadian people. It should be that everybody should be able to own a piece of the rock, afford a piece of the rock, be able to buy food affordably, educate their children affordably, access healthcare affordably and efficiently. But these are not things that she are giving speeches about here in our country. She's going overseas and telling people, well, two lash kill one cow. I don't know the saying because I actually not heard it first. That is the first time.
And this was at the opening of a dam in Ethiopia.
How does that benefit the Barbadian people? The people need their leaders here. We're not saying that you shouldn't travel at all, because they're obviously, for your office, you would have to travel sometime. But for somebody who is a leader of a country, you are out of the country so much times. It makes me wonder, who are you governing? Which country are you? Which country are you the prime minister of? Because you're not here all of the time. So if the people aren't seeing their leader and you're leaving your cabinet to come and basically oppress the Barbadian people, you don't even come most times and then present certain things to cabinet. You leave that, you designate that to other people. So other people are doing your job. So it's not benefiting the Barbadian people. And when you actually really go on social media, there are people who are crying out saying that the Prime Minister is not here all of the time. But she needs to be here more often to lead this country.
What is so suspicious is that over the years in Barbados, we became used to a prime minister leaving Barbados, and it was gazetted, it was in the Advocate, it was in the Nation. It used to be all over the media because a prime ministerial absence is dealt with by the highest law in this country, the Constitution, and it says what happens when a prime minister is away. But We don't know. People wake up on mornings now, and they don't know whether the Prime Minister is here unless the lady who's deputy goes somewhere and she's introduced as Prime Minister. David, what do you make of this? That Barbadians are not told. It's more than a protocol. There's something indecent about leaving the country behind. You're head of government. You are head of government. You can't sneak out of the country as head of government. People have to know. The citizens must know where the Prime Minister is. They voted for the person as Prime Minister.
I'm concerned about governance in Barbados.
Yes, it's a governance issue then.
I'm concerned about governance because there's a popular social media guy that he constantly speaks about accountability and transparency.
Yes.
That is lacking so badly in Barbados.
Oh, yes.
It's almost as if this government don't seem to care to tell us anything that is being done to us, being done for us. They don't care to tell us how much taxes we have in storage,
or how much they spend on
Carry Festa. They don't care, and herein lies the problem. Barbadians are going to sit and they're going to keep quiet, and some of them are going to say, "I ain't voting no more. I vex. I fed up with it. All politicians is the same thing," and all that kind of thing. But my reality is that if we leave the gate open any longer, when we go back and close the gate, there ain't gonna be nothing independent here. There is not going to be anything independent. The reality is that, as we are on the point, garbage and sewage tax. How much have been collected? How much have been spent? What have it been spent on? There's no accountability, comrade leader. There's no accountability. Fuel tax. How much have been collected? Where does it go?
On the question of accountability, I want you to come back to Prime Ministerial travel. Do you think Barbadians are entitled to know, one, when she's out of the country, and two, how much it costs in a calendar year?
Absolutely.
Do you think we are entitled to know that?
Comrade leader, as long as she is doing business on behalf of Barbadians, Barbadians should know how much it's costing them
Yes.
for her to travel. They should know where she's going.
Correct.
They should know what benefits her travel,
Who's going with
her
her?
travels are
To Barbados.
to Barbados.
Yes.
Who's
And
going
the
with her?
reality is, and who's going with her? Because you can't carry a whole football
And the
team.
cost of that as
You
well.
can't be carrying a whole football team to Dubai. A whole plane load of people.
Dubai
Yeah.
had 67 people.
Yeah,
And this
entourage.
the thing is, and you got
And the dinner in New York, I think, they filled up the private jet. So a plane load went up on the private jet.
So my problem herein lies my problem.
And it cost 120,000.
Now you talking about this 120,000 the cafe's love and monopoly money, because this doesn't sound like real money. Because the reality is that here is a government that the people of Barbados has put in place, but they don't have any respect for the people that put them there. They don't have any respect for the people that put them there. They don't care to tell us anything. It's almost as if we put them there, and they are ruling us now.
Yes, ruling.
They are ruling us because you got the travels. You have, and what they are traveling with these exorbitant cost overruns. Let me call them cost overruns. You still got pensioners in Barbados paying garbage and sewage tax, you know.
Yeah.
Once she's traveling, VAT is still at 17.5%, even after being promised in 2018 that the VAT would have been reduced to 15%.
By the way, we announced on Sunday night at our meeting in Inchmarlow that a Democratic Labour Party is committed to lowering VAT if it is God's will that we should occupy government.
And I hope it's the will of most Barbadians, and yes, God's will, because it is so unreasonable, it is so unfair, it's so nasty that we could vote you in. We trust you to run this country, We trust you to be accountable to us, but yet we can't get the accountability. We're cloudy. Everything is cloudy. There's no transparency. You can't see what's happening. You're literally begging this government to tell us what's happening. You're spending our money. Tell us how you're spending our money. It's not good enough. And you're traveling up and down as if you're a hostess or a pilot. This can't be right. And they're just walking around skin in the cheek as if everything's all hunky dory. What if this lady is, what if our leader is traveling all over the world? We here suffering though. A lot of Barbadians are here suffering, and that's a fact. A lot of people are. You talk about paycheck to paycheck.
You have a very dry wit, David.
That's what we doing on the But the reality is that when you're dealing with a situation where people are living paycheck to paycheck, you know that there are a lot of persons who, after they get paid on the 25th or the 26th of the month,
that's it.
Don't make it to the beginning of next month.
Precisely.
You know that there are a lot of persons who can't make
Well,
it.
let us then find out what is the travel bill.
Well, I think there's more. Yes, the travel bill is very important.
Yeah.
But there's other bills that we need to know about.
Precisely.
That the gas bill,
Precisely.
and like I said, the garbage insurance tax, and some other taxes that the hospital tax and all. We need to know what's happening to all the monies. And no, sir, let me stop you here a minute.
Sorry, go on.
You got to deal with the issue of the loans. Because I've seen some weeks we having the government signing off on 2 loans, 100 million here,
Yes.
500 million there, as if it's
Fine
monopoly
change.
money.
Yes, fine change.
But yet we can't see what all these loans are doing.
That's right.
We can't see. I just would
right.
like to see what these loans, as you know, what has to happen. What we have to do for the people of Barbados as a political party, we have to tabulate the amount of loans this government would have received from 2018 to now.
Actually,
And present.
You have a number, Dawn?
I was
And
gonna
present it to the
say,
people of Barbados.
to be perfectly honest, I don't know where this has gone or if it's been actioned further, but where is the government with respect to this Freedom of Information Act? Because truly,
That's off the agenda.
yeah, well,
off the agenda.
something like that would allow us to actually not have to go
The Integrity in Public Life Bill passed in both houses, not proclaimed. It's not the law in Barbados. Off the agenda. That's the answer I'm going to give you to those things.
Really?
Oh, yes. And Barbadians will come to a point where they will ask, why haven't you passed the Integrity in Public
So
Life
question.
legislation,
So-
which seeks to have people in public life disclose their assets?
Yeah. My other question is, okay, so we don't know exactly where the sewage tax is going, right? And the Prime Minister doesn't account for her travel. Would it be right to assume that perhaps this money could be used to finance the Prime Minister's travel? Because we don't know. And again, I guess this is where the public perhaps needs to be made aware of the value of a vote. Because when you vote in a government and you unanimously give, one party all the power, this party doesn't have to really come back to the public to tell them anything or to say anything or to be accountable for anything. So whereas we've been in this forum calling for accountability and it's been falling on deaf ears, I think now this is the time to really come to the public to let them know that your vote matters with respect to requesting that accountability. And your vote ensures that in time ministers of government are held accountable because you vote for people that see it as their responsibility to have some level of integrity. And I think this is where now one has to question the integrity of this government. And Barbadian voters need to really decide whether or not they're voting for their members of parliament to have this integrity, to actually know that their money matters, to know that the taxes that they pay matter, to know that no one prime minister or her cabinet is allowed to travel, to go here or there, to do as they like, to spend as they like, to say as they like, to do as they like, to put forward legislation and pull it back as they like. And it speaks to a greater issue of not just accountability, or it's really a lack of respect when you think about it.
Well,
You
let me tell you
know?
how the government spends money.
Yeah.
When Cattle was fired, and I say she was fired, in the aftermath, I think she was given a plane right to New York. You'd be amazed at how this government functions. And I mentioned a few days ago that Sutherland can expect a very expensive trip soon. That's how they're rewarded, you know.
Mm.
When you're fired, you're rewarded with a plane ride. When Hinkson was fired and demoted, I think they gave him some plane rides to Africa.
Mm.
You would be amazed at how this government functions under Miss Motley.
Yeah.
That you're fired and you're compensated. Okay, I'm going to keep you quiet, and I give you a plane ride. And these are big, hardback men and women
Yeah.
who seem to love sitting in a plane and joyriding. I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, this is where the 66% of voters in St. Michael North, and I know it varies across constituencies, but it really does speak to the majority of voters who did not participate in the process in 2018 and 2022. This is where they need to come out now and vote.
Well, the onus is on us.
Yeah.
Convince them, one, that this government has failed them, and two, that we will correct the ills. I want to come to somebody mentioned cabinet members. This habit, Jason, that every minister does not end a public address unless he or she makes reference to the prime minister. If they're talking about paving a gutter, they will say, well, you know, the prime minister gave approval for the paving of that gutter. As if they don't have the opportunity, the initiative to exercise ministerial initiative.
Or the ministerial power.
But yeah, precisely. This is something that our theme here, what are the people saying? I hear people talking about this. Do you hear people talking about that? The lack of power that the ministers seem to have, or rather, the power that they don't have. The ministers' lack of power.
Right. It seems as though there's perhaps a policy decision within that camp to create an image where our dear Prime Minister is the McGuffey.
Yes.
Right?
Your predecessor used a different word. You used the word McGuffey. Your deceased predecessor.
Smooth road coming from Boston by this place now. But yet, our Prime Minister is joyriding all over the place. At whose expense?
And now you have mentioned numbers. I remember they did the South Coast Road. And I think at that point, I don't like to mislead people, but I think they said it cost $600,000 to do that road. And we were told that the Prime Minister's trip to Africa cost more than it cost to fix that road. So the point you're making has validity. That the cost of travel is exceeding the cost that it would be to fix roads.
A caring government would reduce the amount of travel
Yes.
and showing off.
Yes.
Look, let's get to nuts and bolts. You would have to be a foolish person to throw a party last Saturday,
Yes.
knowing full well that you can pay your light bill and water bill. Why Why we spent so much money on Carifta the other day?
Carifesta.
Carifesta.
Mhm.
Millions of dollars.
Mhm.
We could have, how many roads we could have paid for that money?
Oh,
Could we not,
perhaps.
could we not at least increase the pension for the old people?
Correct.
Barbadians,
Or the welfare payments.
of course. Barbadians, think long and hard. Bet who bet you.
Hmm.
This government is not acting in your favor, nor your interests. They are enjoying your taxes. They are raising taxes and enjoying life. They are living happy at your expense. Put them in place. When the time comes, vote for the Democratic Labour Party, a party that cares about you, a party that is ready to work for you. It is what it is.
What are the people saying? The people are also talking about the international borrowing.
Oh gosh.
Mm.
When
I
you
see
say,
the-
oh gosh,
I haven't seen the boy borrow so much money yet. How are we? We are putting our children's children in debt even before they're born.
and this is something you're hearing about
Yes.
on the street. People are concerned.
People are talking about it.
Yeah. And Damien, are people talking about it because they're not seeing the fruits of these loans?
Oh yeah, because Doc would come here and wax poetic. I try not to trample on his precise figures, but I think he said
Dr. Wickham.
Dr. Wickham, right? I think he said something like 2,000 million. Is it? What is it exactly? It's more. It's 2 billion, obviously, but 2,000.
Yeah, 2 billion.
2,000 million,
Mhm.
right? Those are astronomical figures to be borrowing, and at the end of the day, you're not seeing the dividends coming into the Barbadian people.
Mhm.
Where is the money going? Because they borrowed X amount of money to fix the roads the other day, and I'm not seeing any roads being
It's
fixed.
not fixed.
I'm actually seeing the roads getting worse. I'm not seeing any investment in the community.
Correct.
The community centers are falling by the
closed.
wayside. Down by Christchurch East, they can't even get a pasture for the children to play on.
That's right.
The roads down there are even more horrible. Imagine that our comrade, Moy Building Born, had to go and enlist somebody else, someone in her circle, to fix a road
Mhm.
in front of one of her constituents, because when the rain fell, they couldn't get out of their house. That is the job of government. But for some reason, you could come and keep telling us we borrowing roads to fix the infrastructure, the hospital, or we borrowing money to fix roads, and doing all of this, and we cannot see what those dividends are. This government has failed in regards to what it is that they want to achieve in regards to helping the Barbadian people to move from point A to point B socioeconomically. And I cannot for the life of me tell you where this money is going from.
Damien, Dr. Wickham sent in those. And thank you, Doc, for watching us and following us and sending in information. Read the information that the doc sent in on the loans. These are on the loans. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. So this is Barbados 150 million from CAF in February 2025. Barbados 60
Do
million.
it slowly, Damien.
Okay.
We're not in a hurry.
Barbados 60 million from the World Bank in April 2025. Barbados 1,000 million
Wow.
in June 2025. Barbados 116 million from the IMF in June or July of 2025. 185.4 million from the Saudis in July 2025, and 390 million from the Chinese in October.
Mhm.
So that basically puts us close to
That's
about 2,000 million.
That's $2 billion.
$2 billion.
And the
$2
other day they were saying that they
That
got
is crazy.
access to another 18 billion.
Yes, with the Latin American Bank.
I have it on board,
And,
please.
and I don't want David to faint when I say this, but we have to ask a question. And the question we must ask, and we are asking a question of government, Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Are commissions being paid on these loans?
Right.
It is in the public's
Oh, you mean like a
interest,
headhunting fee?
commissions.
Right.
Are people
Benefiting?
yes? Are people benefiting
Oh, no.
privately?
Oh no.
Right.
Because we can sit here and talk about our grandchildren having to repay the loans, but let us talk about the possibility
Mm-hmm.
that certain persons, a small cadre of persons, maybe, I'm saying maybe, making professional fees,
Right.
earning professional fees off these loans. I'm just asking the question.
I think
And I don't have to be in Parliament to ask that question. I can ask it here.
another
It's a
question.
legitimate question. It's a
Yeah.
question that Barbadians are entitled to ask.
Yeah.
If the country is indebted to the tune of $2 billion in 1 year, please tell us whether any persons have benefited from the payment of commissions on those loans,
And at what rate?
and who are they?
Yeah.
At what rate?
Aren't we entitled to know that, Dawn Marie Armstrong?
Yeah, I think the other question is, you mentioned, well, it was mentioned that there was another IMF loan. So am I correct in understanding that we are indeed still in an IMF program?
Ryan Strong said in Parliament last week that
Yeah.
the reason we are upgrading from C membership to A membership
Yeah.
in the Latin American Bank is that in future we may not have to go to the IMF. We could go to the Latin American Bank.
So are we in an IMF program, or is that something
We were supposed to
to be out?
exit it.
Exactly.
But remember, we are opening the doors to other lenders.
Right.
And Mr. Strong said that the Latin American Bank is an alternative to the IMF. There's nothing magical about the IMF, I suppose.
Yeah.
They lend money.
Boris stuff.
So did they borrow the loan indeed to pay off the IMF, the one that came with the exorbitant interest rate and the finder's fee? Like, because that was never
That's
really
what the people in
closed.
Barbados want to know.
Yeah, that was never really closed.
That is
So
what the people in Barbados
with the
want to
$2
know.
billion that's been
The
accumulated
government
thus
is not
far,
transparent. The government doesn't tell us.
so
They don't tell us.
and that was challenged. I remember the last time on DLP TV, you brought it to the forum that this person was being paid 10% of that.
I didn't say that they were being paid 10%.
Well, you question whether or not.
Let me give you a title, Dr. Armstrong. I am asking questions.
Yes.
Look, you looking to get somebody in trouble. David Warren. I am asking, are persons benefited from the payment of fees, commissions? Are Barbadians, I've asked the question, I'm not asking you, are Barbadians entitled to hear an answer to that question?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Barbadians are entitled. We put them there,
Yes,
and we put them there to govern,
yes,
but we didn't put them there to govern with a question.
precisely.
And it all and if whether professional fees are attached, if it is natural
Mhm.
that professional fees are attached to these
We want
loans,
to know.
then obviously some persons are getting professional fees.
Coming back to you now,
And the reality is that Conrad leader, Barbados need integrity legislation, you know.
we have it.
No,
David?
we need
You mean
integrity
we need the
legislation.
government to proclaim it, to
We
bring it
need
into
integrity
force.
legislation with teeth. As long as it's not proclaimed, the teeth ain't grow yet. It's still in the gun. So the reality is we need integrity legislation with teeth, because it seems to me
Mhm.
that persons in Barbados
Mhm.
can do as they like in regards to accumulating wealth
Mhm.
without question.
Mhm.
And persons in public life seems to me that they're able to accumulate wealth without question. And as far as I understand it, integrity legislation is supposed to monitor that. It's supposed to bring some measure of policing our public officials
Yes,
becoming
that is what it is.
filthy rich.
Yes.
So the reality is that while people might say that I seem concerned about people getting wealthy, I am concerned about people getting wealthy off my head.
Precisely.
I'm concerned about people. I want everybody in Barbados to be rich.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, if you're going to get rich off my head,
Mhm.
and I am poor,
Mhm.
then they just need to question what's happening to them.
Mhm. Mhm.
They just need to question what is happening to them, because there's no integrity legislation. As a young man growing up, the idea of integrity legislation was bandied all over the place. Then we end up with the government making us a promise. As a matter, I think it might have been a manifesto promise.
Yes, it is.
That they would have brought integrity legislation. You see,
We have to make a big issue of this, David.
it all comes down to trust, our common leader.
Yeah.
How can we trust
Coming to you shortly, Don.
a government that makes us a promise that was going to lock up everybody in Democrat level last administration? They were going to lock up everybody in that last administration. And they were going to bring integrity legislation to protect the public's purse.
Well, let us tell Barbadians what integrity legislation does at its very basic level. You declare your assets, you come into government, you declare your assets, and if you leave government 8 years later and you are a multimillionaire, say where you got that money from. Now, we're not saying that anybody is a multimillionaire 8 years later, but we're saying that we need the legislation because we need to protect the public purse.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know, though, if any person is a millionaire.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know. You ever heard of Singapore?
Yeah.
Singapore pays its MPs very well. But the minute that your income or your assets go beyond what you would reasonably have acquired in public office, you have to face the judge. China, the same thing. Japan, the same thing. Give account for this amassing of great wealth, Dr. Armstrong. You support integrity legislation?
Of course I do, but you made the point that this segment is about what the people are asking. People are saying and asking.
I don't want you to say what they're saying. I want you to put it in question.
So the people are saying that they know the Democratic Labour Party always inherits bad debt from the Barbados Labour Party. It is known. It is a known fact. And it seems as if history is repeating itself with the exorbitant borrowing of the Barbados Labour Party. I think for me, what we have to do and what we have to begin thinking about is, yes, we're recording the loans, but how are we planning in terms of our future management of that debt if it is thrusted upon us? And this is where the people of Barbados now have to decide that they have to vote with the Barbados Labour Party for that trend of bad governance, bad fiscal management, bad representation, wastage, lack of respect, neglect across the country, because the borrowing does not match the social development, doesn't match the community development, doesn't match the sector development, doesn't match
against it.
Doesn't match productivity. So the reality is, as a party that will eventually inherit government from the Barbados Labour Party, and recognizing that Barbadians are it isn't put in, the answer is right there. If we continue to allow the Barbados Labour Party to govern, it doesn't seem as if the borrowing will stop.
Oh gosh.
Barbadians cannot take the level of borrowing that this Barbados Labour Party government is undertaking. It seems as if it is incessant. It will never stop. One would even say, going into what would be a democratically or constitutionally due 2027 election, it seems as if the gas has been pressed even harder in terms of the borrowing. For what reason, we don't know. But what we can say is that if the borrowing is to come to an end, this government has to leave office without a doubt. And I think on the borrowing alone, person should recognize that this government is fiscally irresponsible and unfit to govern.
And that is what the people
at this point in time. Yes, they know that the Democratic Labour Party.
That the people are talking about. Government is telling us that there's a record low unemployment at 6%. You go into the constituency every day, and you're seeing what you're seeing, and the people are being insulted. The intelligence of people is being insulted with this statement that 6 out of every 100 of you is unemployed. Damien, do we know better?
We do know better. All you need to do is take a drive on the south coast or the west coast and just park your car and just take a look at some of the construction sites. You're not even seeing young Barbadian skilled individuals working on these sites.
You don't believe the 6%?
I do not believe it. I no. Let's let me actually pivot. Let me actually pivot. What I will say though is that if there are toting numbers, right, about 6% unemployment, what the statistic that they're not really looking at is underemployment.
Underemployment.
Because we have a lot of, since they moved away from the appointment system and went to this contract system,
Yes.
underemployment has exploded.
Yes.
Since then that they implemented the raise in minimum wage, underemployment has exploded. And it was facetious to me by the governor of the central bank to come and tell, oh, how unemployment is so low. But then yet you can't even present a statistic of the underemployment because you know that would shoot down any statistic that you would have of the unemployment.
Mhm.
And every day when I go out and I talk to people, or I see skilled individuals telling me that they're not even finding work on construction sites. They can't even get work on construction sites on Barbadian projects.
Mhm.
So this government has taken a stance that they seem to favor these corporations and these legacy wealth individuals who is going to hire their own labor, import their own labor, and leave out the Barbadian people from getting work. But then gonna come and put statistics in the faces of Barbadian people talking about low unemployment as if we are idiots.
Jason is spending a lot of time on the ground in St. Peter.
Oh,
And the
yes.
evidence is there.
Yes.
And you're seeing this evidence of record low unemployment.
I'm seeing record high unemployment.
Tell the people.
In 6 Mines Village alone.
Mhm.
One night I passed a couple of fellas playing cars,
Mhm.
and they said, there's a project nearby,
Mhm.
and not one fella is employed. Not because he don't want to be employed.
Mhm.
They have employed foreigners.
Which is the same thing.
And we
Damien is
know
telling us.
that, yes. And we know that they're foreigners because they don't look like us.
Mhm.
And in some instances, you can't even understand the language that they're speaking.
Mhm.
Even as far as,
So they're not Caribbean people.
they don't seem to be, well, like, I won't put my name on the block for that.
Mhm.
But look, I don't know. I would be fair for me to say that look as though they come from South America.
Mhm.
It would be fair for me to say that. But even in deep St. Peter, especially in basketball and stuff,
Yes.
people feel us. Maybe put you in. We want some work.
Yeah.
And Barbadians want serious work,
Yes.
right? I said, if a government is real, don't give somebody a little debushing project for 2 or 3 months
I was about
just before election.
Yeah, I was about to say that if you commit the loans to development
Exactly.
and development projects and serious investment, then people may get some work. But you're borrowing the money, amassing this foreign exchange position, so that you can make claims about a macro economy that's doing well. Well, there's a lot of suffering out there, David. You're seeing, evidence of this 6% unemployment.
Unemployment in Barbados is high. And as these two gentlemen said, I am seeing on a lot of these projects people from over the other side of the world, Mexico and those places. I see people
In
from
Barbados,
right?
working.
Indians even,
Mm-hmm.
not local Indians either.
Mhm.
On
Indians from
projects.
India.
In St. George, not
Really?
St. George North.
Yes,
but
I saw
in
that
St.
video.
But
I
in St.
saw that
George,
video.
we got
That video is St. George, isn't it?
in St. George South, but
St. George.
it's still in my zone.
Yeah. Still in
And-
your parish.
It's still in my parish and still in my zone.
Yes.
So I am aware that there are projects.
Yes.
But a lot of the projects are employing Barbadians.
Mhm.
I don't know what the catch is. It's alleged that some of these foreign workers are underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
They're working for less than Barbadian workers.
Yes.
So to some extent, some people say Barbadians are spoiled. They want to get paid more than anybody else. The truth is, look at the cost of living.
Yeah.
These people come and they work. I don't know what they work for.
Mhm.
obviously what they're working for, they're comfortable with,
Yes.
and it's working for them.
Yes.
But you can't come and bring low-paying jobs or underpay. You can't come and do a certain type of work
Yes.
and underpay workers and expect Barbadians are going to jump right in or even be interested. So, and in some cases, I don't think the agents are even given the opportunity
Mm.
Yes.
to work on some of these projects.
Yeah,
So the reality is that the whole work demographic is skewed out of the favor, skewed out of the favor of the average Barbadian.
Mhm.
And then we Barbadians write our own people and say, well, them boys don't want to work. Everybody want to be on the tree, you know.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Everybody does not necessarily want to be under a tree, marinating and under the birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reality is that the work environment in Barbados has become very, very not hostile,
Toxic.
very toxic,
Mhm.
right? And what some of these contractors are willing to pay some of those foreign workers
Mhm.
would not be good enough for local workers. Because
Don't.
you can't go and work for Basphere
Yeah.
and
Don't-
not even match money.
Correct. Don, yours is a very interesting constituency.
Mhm.
As a very sharp social mix there.
Mhm.
The lines
Mm-hmm.
between the classes are very sharp in your constituency. You're seeing evidence of a low unemployment figure in your constituency.
What I was gonna enhance first and foremost is in terms of the figures that the central bank governor speaks of, is there any way to validate those figures? First and foremost, is the central bank audited? Where are they drawing
They normally,
these statistics
they normally
from?
refer to the Barbados Statistical Service.
Okay.
But what offends me,
Yeah.
how do you look at a man that is unemployed
Yeah.
and say to him, not a man, how
Yeah.
do you look at a large class of persons who are largely unemployed and say
Yeah.
to them, you're living in a country with record low unemployment?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you saying to him?
What?
What is he supposed to do? Applaud?
What?
When you say something that runs counter to his very existence?
Yeah. What I would also say is, what's being said is that there is a need for jobs and job creation, but one must question with the 6% unemployment, what's the quality of employment that's being
That's Damien's
provided?
point. Underemployment. Massive underemployment.
Yeah. So there may be jobs, but the work environments may not be conducive of that. But I would say 1% would be, the figure that we should be aiming towards in terms of unemployment, if we are going to brag.
One would be considered full employment.
Yeah, but equally, I do believe that one must question the figure. One must also question the fact that.
Well, if you're walking through the lodge, you'd better question that figure.
Yeah, definitely.
Or
Well, people telling you, oh, right,
present.
if you can't get me a job, I voted for nobody if nobody gave me no work. So, I mean, you are faced with the reality of
Call
that.
that
And
hopelessness, though.
not only that,
When people lose hope, absolutely, that's a
people
a terrible human condition.
want government jobs. And up to yesterday, I had a conversation to this effect. I looking for permanent work, and is, maybe 20 years ago that may have been the goal and may have been something that could have been aspired to. And one would say you get a footing, is up to you to determine whether or not you keep the job based on your work ethic and your performance and whatnot. But I think even now, and this government needs to come out and tell the truth about the amount of contract workers within the civil service that don't know if they will be employed after 3 months.
They give them what, 3-year contract?
3 months.
3 months.
3 month
Oh, you mean at
contract.
the manual labor level?
No,
Government.
at the clerical officer level,
Give them
you're
what, 3 months?
3 months. So after 3 months, you're wondering if you'll be given a new contract. So that doesn't. Yes, you may be employed, but you can't go in and get a loan. You can't go in and purchase a vehicle. You can't get a mortgage. I even spoke to a constituent that said her daughter worked and saved up her 10% to purchase a home and went to a mortgage fair.
Yes.
And even though she had the money,
The
how much
deposit.
how much ever thousands they said you are not employed
qualify.
full time. You may have the deposit and may have a job paying you the amount to meet your monthly, but you don't
No
have
security of tenure.
you don't have permanent work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think we as a party have to try to investigate, what has happened within the civil service that has caused the government, to not be able to provide that stability that would have once built this country, so allow the middle class to thrive and to live and to earn and to save and to invest. Why are generations now not being afforded that opportunity? And how are they, again, it comes back to the borrowing and to the development and everything else. Why isn't the public sector able to hold up the economy in the way that it used to? And these are things that I don't think this government is willing to answer, or things that they will ever answer. And here lies our plea again. If they're not providing these answers, they're not providing the job security, they're not providing the opportunities that governments of past would have done, why are they even governing?
Do you get a sense, all of you here, that government is saying to people, look, government cannot do better?
They are, absolutely.
That's what they're saying.
They're
Government
saying
is telling
that.
people, look,
I could tell you for
cannot do
a
better, nor
fact.
can any government do better. Yet
I-
you're luxuriating.
I have been told by constituents that the current member of parliament allegedly has stated, why everybody want a government job? There's better work out there. And to be fair, before, if you finish secondary school and you got your CSCs, or even better, you finish your way, you got your degree, and you get a call in the government office, you used to be over the moon.
Yep.
There was no work out there that was better or more stable than government work. So to hear the government that 130 seats telling people, I don't have the capacity to provide you with any work, go and look elsewhere. Why have people voted for you in the first place if you have no intention of job creation? You're not building the creative economy. You're speaking about export Barbados, but yet there's no productivity in the country to export anything. I've even heard people going into export Barbados with ideas. No one there to help them develop those ideas. What is going on? So you have people with the capacity to bring ideas to fruition and to create jobs, but going to the institutions that are supposed to be bringing these ideas to life and telling people, well, we don't know where to take this. So it's the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Well, if they're telling people that there are no government jobs and that they should look to the private sector, then that is why they should have treated the taxi industry better, because there are jobs there, but they're bringing Uber to compete unfairly with them. That is why they should have left Airbnb alone, because they were making money and they probably would be able to employ people in some manner around the Airbnb facility. So if they're telling people go to the private sector, to use your word, David, they are oppressing the private sector. I want some final comment.
I was gonna say to
This
counter
is your final
that.
comment.
Yeah, my final comment.
Yes.
What the government has done essentially.
And the theme is, what are the people saying?
The people are saying that they're hustling. So we have a hustle economy.
Hustle.
A hustle and gig economy. One-off jobs, one-off events.
Break a dollar here,
we have a
break
boom
a job. I think that's the term.
We have a boom in events and promotion of events and promoters. Everyone looking to make a dollar. So we have a night economy that's thriving, but it is temporary. It is fickle. The weather could cause an event to flop or otherwise, and everyone is chasing a dollar. And a prominent business person had this conversation with me, and they said no one is actually finishing school to push on to better themselves, to try to gain an education, because they feel as if being educated doesn't necessarily mean being able to earn to your capacity. And they equally said that people have to now pay bills from 16. Children are being put on the streets to sell bottled waters and to sell snacks and to, to bring in money for their parents. It is as if the country right now is topsy-turvy. So
we're short on time. David, what are the people saying?
I sorry that we come to you so fast, but the reality is that we talk about the issue of the contract workers and all that kind of thing. We all are aware that the government went into agreement with the IMF And we all know that the sending home of people was all part of the agreement. And the cutting of the public service was all part of the agreement. So the reality for those out there who wants a government job, just remember, you will not get a government job under this government. And I don't know if any government will be able to get the public service into what used to be. But right now, it's just contract work. And it is on unsecure jobs, right? But the people out there are frustrated.
Okay.
They're frustrated, as I tell you, today itself I was signing documents for all the people who want to get that little garbage and service tax off. They're concerned about that. They're concerned about the conditions of the road must be spoken about.
Yes.
We might need a whole program for that.
Okay.
Because the roads are bad. I just broke a back shock on my car driving through the place, right? Driving through the roads of Barbados and destroying. But the people are concerned about the economy. They're concerned about. There's a lot of concern.
Future. Jason, what are the people saying?
Generally speaking, in St. Peter, the people are saying that there is no representation.
No representation. Damien, what are the people saying?
People that are talking to me, they're saying it's time for a change.
Time for a change.
Yeah.
On Sunday coming, we are going to be saying a few things at another spot meeting. That's your spot meeting, Dawn. Where is it being held, please?
It's being held in Patience Drive,
Eden Lodge?
Eden Lodge,
In the heart of Eden Lodge.
in the heart of
We're
Eden
going
Lodge.
to Patience Drive. The people are losing patience with this government, but we'll be in Patience Drive. I'm just thinking that. On Sunday night, what time?
6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Why not 5:30?
Why not 5:30? I just figured that we would use the opportunity to set up. I intend to do some canvassing Sunday morning and
Yes.
all of Saturday
All right,
as
look,
well.
who are the speakers, please? Can Dawn go on camera and let Dawn say who are the speakers? You don't know your speakers, Dawn.
Of course I do.
Well, look at the camera and tell
Oh,
us.
sorry. I was just looking for you to pull up the flare. So our speakers are the Honorable Ralph Thorne, leader, president, and opposition leader in this country. It would be myself as candidate, Mr. Ryan Walters, candidate St. Michael Northwest, Mr. Pedro Graves, candidate St. James South, Mr. James Paul, candidate St. Michael West Central, and Mr. Jamal Sandiford, candidate of St. Michael Northeast. I should have had the opportunity to pull up the flyer. You dropped it on me, but
Okay.
nonetheless, pray that you come out and hear what we have to say. Obviously, we know the importance of Eden Lodge as, a box within the constituency and as a community, and no one riddled with crime. We're really seeking to come out and, put some solutions forward with respect to tackling some of the societal ills within our country. So, yeah.
Okay, so we are coming to the people of Eden Lodge and St. Michael North and St. Michael Northwest and St. James South, correct?
Yes.
And St. Michael West Central and St. Michael Northeast.
Mhm.
That is almost zonal in a sense.
I was going to say it's the
Yes,
entire,
and we're bringing
yeah.
the issues to the people. We're not hiding from the people. We're coming into your communities in a very intimate way. This is a nice little self-contained area
Mhm.
called Patience Drive. That's where we will be on Sunday evening, 5:30, not 6, 5:30. We want to get there when the sun is up and congregate and have drinks and so on. And we had an excellent meeting last Sunday night at H. Marlow. Thanks to you, Amoy Gilden Bourne. Thanks to all the speakers, Dr. Eswick. Who else was there? Felicia Dujon was there. You were there, Damien. You
Yes,
were
I
there.
was.
And you're going to be there again on Sunday night. Who's chairing? Who's chairing that meeting, Don?
Ramon Goodman.
Oh, Ramon Goodman. Or St. Andrew man, who I introduced there last week, Ramon. We're coming to St. Andrew soon, Ramon. Coming to St. Andrew soon. We'll be all over Barbados like Punka.
Andrew also spoke last night.
Andrew Cave spoke last night. Yes, excellent meeting. You were missing, Jason.
Yeah, but I think
I made an excuse for you.
Yeah, I think we should give our condolences to Tyrone Green.
Oh, Tyrone Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good people of St. Peter, be remiss of me if I did not remember to mention the passing of our dear deputy chair, Mr. Tyrone Green. He was a stalwart, as far as I'm concerned, in this party. He worked very hard for St. Peter, and I just want to give my condolence to his family and friends. Thank you, Comrade Leader.
Most welcome. And we're going to be back on Thursday, usual time, 7 o'clock, 7 till 9. The discussion was so interesting, riveting, that we've gone 8 minutes past our scheduled time. But have a good night. God bless.
United as a nation, blessed from above, strong to have made it this far.
Unafraid of the future, surrounded by love.
Proud of who we are. These fields and the hills, beyond recall, they lift us up and never let us fall. We write on the pages of history, legends to legacy. We will all stand together as one.
This is our land forever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guarded by angels, heaven on earth.
This is our home.
Thing.
No, this is tell her you were just